All right, welcome everybody to another not a tutorial. I said if you've found this via the digital art page on Facebook, I did put up a post a little while ago asking people if there's any particular animals they would like me to draw, show you my process of how I would go about drawing it. A few people commented. It was a while ago now, and there's been a lot on. I have children. Anyone who has children, they'll be able to tell you that they are extremely demanding. Daddy, I want food. Daddy, I want water. Oh, Daddy, can I stop sewing these night trainers yet? My fingers are starting to hurt. No, Daddy needs to pay the bills. So, yes, there's a lot going on. But anyway, they're out with their mother. So I get the chance to do this, which is fun. So a lot of comments come through for different animals, but bear seemed to be the deciding factor. There was a few people that said they wanted to see a bear, or how I would particularly draw a bear, not how you would draw a bear, because as I said in my other one of these, and I will keep reiterating, I am not a professional artist. I do get occasionally paid to draw stuff, but I would not classify myself as a traditionally professional artist. So anyway, without further ado, bears is what we're going to draw. I took the liberty earlier on, while I was at my job where I get paid to work, to search and Google pictures of bears. Here is a beautiful bear. Lots of fun, nice pictures of bears. That's aggressive, but yet also cute and cuddly. There's a cute bear. I love this one. This shape of this bear. We may use this guy here, and this guy. I love bears that sit like humans. It makes me laugh. So I like him, and I do like this guy as well. All right, let's go into Procreate. Already got a canvas ready to go. See, I'm getting better at this, saving time. The last one was half an hour long. Let's try and get this done a bit quicker and not bore people. So what we want to do, first of all, is get our reference in. If you go to Canvas and go down to Reference, and you turn that on, you'll get this little box appear here. Now you can choose Canvas. Obviously, there's nothing on it at the moment. You can do your face. Ooh, hello, there's my face. I can do my face if I want, but we're not going to do that, are we? No. We are going to do a bear. So let's get our bear. Where is the bear that we want to use? Which bear? Which bear shall we use? All right, let's go this guy because I love the shape of this guy. Let's get the background back. All right. Again, brush I'm using is just the peppermint brush from the sketch that comes with Procreate. Okay, so let's look at this bear. Now, I like to. You can obviously do this in two ways. I never draw realistic stuff. I'd love to be able to draw realistic stuff. I just can't. No good at it. I obviously draw cartoons. So, but you can draw this. Yeah, what I do is I look for the shapes. So, in fact, I need to bring this in. Sorry. Add insert a photo. Let's bring in Mr. Bear here because I just want to show you something. With this. There he is. Big, beautiful bear. Staring right down the camera going, oh, taking photos of me, are you? Cute. Do I look cute? I'm going to eat you alive. All right, so let's look at the shapes here. So the reason I love this one is because the shapes are so clear. And when you're drawing this, people look at these things and they go, oh my God, oh, what am I going to do? How am I going to draw this bear? You break it down into the simplest of shapes. So if we look here, that's not going to work, is it? You can't see that. You can't see that very well. Let me change the brush so we can see what we're doing. Here we go. So basic shapes. Eraser. Okay, not thick enough. God, get your act together. Okay, so we've got basics of shapes, right? There's the circle for his head, his ears. They're just like these nice little cute little curly thingies here, right? There's your head, there's your bear head. Hello, bear head, right? This is like the basic, like the most basic. And then you see this nice big shape here. There's a little like rocket ship that he's got. I won't worry about drawing through there at the moment. Rocket ship right through there. See that? Okay. Basic shapes. The feet, right? Again, let's look at the most simplest basic form, right? The white lines are a bit wavy here at the moment. Oh, you bastard. Lines are a bit wavy here. Let's not worry about that just yet. What we want to do is just show you how we don't have to panic about, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to draw a bear. How would you even start? It's basic shapes. It's all it is. See, I'm not doing anything here that is insanely difficult. I'm tracing, all right? So most people are like, you can't trace. How dare you trace? Evil man with your tracing. I'm not going to trace the final product. I just want to show you how this bear is just made up of these basic shapes and how you can just emulate that in your drawing. Now, okay, let's take away our bear for a second. See that? See that? Look, it's not going to win any awards, is it? But if someone's to look at that, they go, ooh, that resembles a bear? You can go, that's right, that's what I was trying to draw. So, look, basic shapes. Just think when you're looking at these things, they're basic forms, they're basic shapes, and how you can replicate that onto your screen. Probably making no sense, but anyway, let's get on with it, because we've already wasted time with that babble. Okay, so, looking at those basic shapes now, let's draw his head. So as I said, it's just a nice big circle. Now, I have never drawn this bear before, so there is every chance that I am going to royally screw this up. But you're here for that journey. Let's do it together. Let's just chuck in these construction lines because that makes us look more professional. He's got a muzzle down here, okay? We're going to keep that nice and basic. He's got just around little hills there for eyes. Now, I want to accentuate the shapes because this is a cartoon. So, I want his back little arch thing there to be nice and big. Okay? And, I do love, he's got like multiple sort of layers here to his fur, which makes him look nice and ginormous. He's gonna eat you for breakfast and spit out your scrotum. So that's that. Let's chuck in his schnozzer, which is, again, let's go basic shape here. Okay, there's a basic shape for his schnozzer. Love his mouth. Now his mouth, I do love his mouth. We're not supposed to get into too many details here yet, but I do love this expression that he's got. Let's do that. Okay. Now I said I'm not supposed to get into too much details, and now I'm getting into details, but that's right. Okay. I do love his little goatee too. That makes me... I do like that goatee. All right. So again, basic shapes. Let's look at his big old paws down the bottom here. Let's. I need to change. Yeah, better. And hold up. There we go. That's better. Okay, so let's look at these big old feet. They join right now. They're massive legs. Look at these big old. He's not on Jenny Craig. He's like, oh, I'll eat everything, including the cameraman. All right. I do love the way he's sitting. It's wonderful. I might change the way he's sitting a little bit because I love to see the paws. Okay, so again, there's the basic shape. Look, this is all just very basic shapes. Just what we did before with the tracing. I'm literally doing the same here. I'm just not tracing. Now, if anyone says to you, how dare you trace, you absolute awful human being, bury you in the depths of hell for tracing. Well, there is nothing wrong with tracing, all right? Now, before anyone goes nuts and like, how dare you say that, people shouldn't trace. Now, what you shouldn't do is you shouldn't trace and be like, look at this amazing piece of art that I created from scratch off the top of my head. I'm the world's greatest artist. Please buy this for hundreds of millions of pounds. That's what you shouldn't do. But to practice shapes and forms and, seeing where everything sits, nothing wrong with it. Do that. All right? And it's the same goes when it comes to copying. People get so angry about copying, but they get angry because people copy and then say, look at my artwork, how wonderful. Buy it for hundreds of millions of dollars. This is my original work. That's why people get angry. But if you want to learn how people draw, how certain people draw, I copy all the time. My favourite artist, my absolute favourite artist, I have a couple, but the number one is 1000. You've probably seen his stuff. He is a phenomenal artist. I love his stuff. And I've copied his stuff heaps and heaps. But what I don't do, generally, is I don't post it and go, how good's my artwork? No, I just draw his, because I love his style, and I can't draw his style. So I do a bit of copying, and I see how it sort of helps me to work out, oh, that's how he drew that, or I love the way he draws that. And you can take little bits of things that people do and add it to your own artwork. It's not the end of the world. All right, so as you can see, I'm changing up a few things about his expression. I've made him a much grumpier bear. He's really annoyed. Now, he has these nice big claws. See the claws there? They're wonderful. They're huge. They are made for ripping flesh off the bones of the animals and potentially the cameramen. I don't know if they're going to suit our bear, but we'll put them in there. And we'll work it out later, because generally I like to simplify the paws. I don't like those, see? They're a bit aggressive. I mean, he's a killing machine, but the cartoon doesn't need to reflect that, does it? So, anyway, here we go. Chuck in these paws. You can see he's starting to take shape now. He's a nice hairy bear. So that's simply just, we can... The detail comes later once we start inking, but let's just give that example. I like the way this sort of paw pops up. It's not completely flat, so you could potentially see underneath that. That might not work. Let's see what happens there. Make it a little bit three-dimensional. As I've said to people in the past, you will learn nothing from my not a tutorial because it's not a tutorial. But I just hope with potentially maybe a few people actually on my last video, which was very cool, they followed along and drew their own cats and then sent me them, and that was very cool to see. So, maybe follow along and draw your own bear. Actually, okay, so there's your basic bear. I don't know, maybe he's grumpy because he's arrived at his favourite watering hole, and there's a new sign that's turned up. No fishing. Hardy, hardy, ha. All right, there you go. So, inking stage, let's get that layer. Just if you double tap with 2 fingers on that layer, opacity pops up, bring the slider back, and ta-da, it'll light it up. And then we can add a new layer and start inking. The fun part. So now inking wise, again, I'm still using the dry ink brush. I love it. It's one of my favourites. Let's drop the size of that down. And we'll start with his nose. Sometimes, there we go. So, it's a bit thick. Now, I am going through this quite a bit quicker than I did the cat one. As I said, the cat video was half an hour long. People are obviously loving it though, because it's blowing up on YouTube. It's had 90 views. So I promise you, when I become a YouTube superstar, I won't change. I'll be the same old me. Okay, so this is where we get in the details. Let's give him a little bit of a... See, because he's got, as you can see in the photo, let's bring it back quickly on here. You can see in the photo on his mouth, he's got these little droopy bits. Oops. He's got these little sort of droopy bits here, so I want to accentuate those. And look for those features in the animals that you can accentuate to make them a little bit more, give them that cartoony feel to them. Obviously his lip I've made different to the one he's got, and obviously the one in his photo there, the lip's more like that, but I prefer that sort of side pouty lip look. Let's give him a little bit of See the end of that. Now, obviously, he's got a giant muzzle that comes off of his face. So we want to try and depict that a little bit with that sort of look there. His eyes in this are obviously, as you'll see, the bear's eyes are just these simple round holes. And I think I'll stick with that. I mean, you could do some bigger eyes, but I don't think they'll suit this. Let's just have a look. I don't think they'll suit him though. Nah, let's stay with the smaller, just these little round holes. Now, for those who don't know, if you want a perfect circle, look, you can literally go, oh, no, that's awful. Hold down, don't lift your pen, then tap one finger on the screen, boom, you got a perfect circle, even if it's not quite on there. But let's hold down pen, tap the screen, and then you can move your pen up and down. It will change the size of it for you. Boom, perfect circle. That's why we love Procreate. Remember, making terrible art is professional since whenever it was created. Let's give him a few lines under those eyes. Okay, let's go up to his ears. His ears are very fluffy ears. He in general is a big, fluffy old bear, so we'll try and emulate that as best as possible. Again, conscious of time here, but I don't really want to speed up the videos because I watch a lot of artist videos and I enjoy watching the process of someone drawing. I find it quite cathartic. I'm reading the dictionary this week. It's my new word. And yes, I find it rather relaxing. And then they speed it up and they're like, I didn't want to bore you with this, so I'll just sped it up. It's like, hold on a second, you're not boring me, that's what I'm here for. So hopefully the video might not get lots of views, but hopefully I'm not looking for lots of views. I don't want to be a YouTube superstar. I just want some people to enjoy watching videos of drawing. So if you're enjoying watching videos of drawing, that's great. The job's been done. Okay, so that's his ears. Although, saying that, I still don't want this video to run quite as long as it did last time. Because not only is it a long thing to watch for everyone, it's also very long to upload. Okay. So it's got this little connecty bit. Connecty bit. He's got a connecty bit, everybody. My name is David Attenborough. Here we have a bear with a connecty bit to its leggy bit. Okay. God, he really is a hairy bear. Alright, let's just get these in here. All the way down. I know I'm going to contradict myself here when I said I didn't want to speed it up because I enjoy watching people draw, but watching someone just draw jagged lines like this for an extended period of time is possibly not cathartic at all. But anywho, let's just get it done, shall we? Get it done as a team. And always please feel free to contact me if you have any questions, because obviously, as I said, you're not learning anything in these. I'm not really giving a tutorial on how to draw a bear. I'm just saying, look, potentially one way of doing it. But if you did have any questions that I potentially could answer, then please feel free to get in touch with me, either via Instagram or, of course, in the comment section of this YouTube page. And I will do my darndest to potentially try and answer your questions. I'll try and teach you some tricks of Procreate. I don't like how many toes he's got here. I don't. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, well, maybe because he's such a big bear, he's going to have that many. Now, see how his feet. You'll see how his feet and my feet differ. Mine sort of stay fat and hairy all the way to the paws, whereas his kind of taper out into more like lady feet things. Oh, My knowledge of nature is just, it knows no bounds. But obviously, again, guys, cartoon. It's a bloody cartoon. So just have fun with it. Don't worry about making it anatomically correct. Again, anyone who's a professional drawer will be listening to this going, we need this man stopped. How dare he tell people not to worry about anatomically correct images. Come and find me if you dare. Okay, there we go. Bear. Oh, we're going to have a leakage there. Let's change that line. Oh, no fishing sign. That's important. Now, when you're drawing things like a sign, like a wooden sign, I want this to be wood. Don't forget to add nice little details, like obviously a sign that's been out in the woods wouldn't be perfectly untouched. So I like to add these sort of little notches in the wood to show that it's sort of a bit weathered. Now, perspective is something I'm absolutely rubbish at, like a number of things, and drawing things in perspective and 3D and stuff. So I just, I'm afraid I've got no tip. There is so many people on YouTube that you can learn properly from on how to draw in perspective. I've tried doing those tutorials and I just can't, I cannot get my head around perspective because I'm just not a smart person. Let's put in some lines of wood type lines. There we go. Cool. So there we have our bear, cartoon bear. Let's get rid of, oh no, we want that. Let's get rid of that. There's our bear. Big bad buyer. Hello there, my name's Mr. Buyer. Okay. Let's maybe, I want to close these off actually because we'll make those a pinky colour when we colour them. Now, colour-wise, anyone who's seen my art on, where are we at time-wise? 20 minutes, oh dear. So much for not a long video. Anyone seen my art, you'll know that I'm a big fan of the pastels and not doing animals in their sort of natural colours. I like to change it up. But I'm just wondering, let's try in the natural colours and see how we go. All right, so you want to colour this in. Nice quick way to colour it in. Click on the layer that's you're going to be colouring, or that's your reference. Choose reference, funnily enough. New layer underneath that layer, and then you should be able to, there's probably going to be holes in this, but let's see what happens. Drag and drop. Hey, that's amazing. No, oh, there we go, no holes. That's the first time I think that's ever happened to me. It hasn't leaked, because sometimes obviously it'll leak if you've got especially with this amount of jagged hairs and stuff. It would normally be a hole somewhere, especially with the pen I use as well. But anyway, no holes. Brilliant. That makes life so much quicker. Okay, let's give his ears a pinky colour. His ears aren't pink, obviously, but we're going to do that. I wonder if pinky nose would be cool too. Yeah, we might go pinky nose because... oh no, mate, no, that's better. Now, dark colours, like see for his nose there, you might go, oh, I'll go black. But black tends to be too harsh. Like if I put a black in there, see how it's too harsh? You can't see the line work. You can't see, it sort of takes away from the detail. So if you just go to a sort of a blue, so it's this is the same if you're doing a night sky as well. Like a dark sort of, so it's not black, but it's like a bluey, grey black. It's probably a bit too dark, but yeah, I hit it bang on the first time. That was just a fluke. His eyes, I wouldn't go like a jet black. I would just go like a light grey black, and then you give it maybe your light spots where the light is potentially hitting his eyes. That gives it a bit of life in the eyes. These little spots here. Oh, there's light bouncing off his eyes. Paws down here again. I like his paws are obviously black, but I like black's a little bit harsh. We'll get a nice little pinky colour for the pads of his feet. Now that will leak because there's a hole there, but instead of bothering to fill it up, let's just do this by hand manually. Perfect. Cool. Now, what I like to do, obviously he's got loads of beautiful different colours on his fur, reacting with the light and stuff like that. So use the colours. The good thing about the colour picker and your reference image. Hold down on your reference image, you'll get your colour picker. Hold down, drag it around, and you can find different colours. So let's go to the light colour underneath his face there. And if you go like that, see, it's not too much of a drastic difference, but it's just a nice difference. I'm going to do it on a different layer as well, in case we want to change stuff and we don't have to erase everything else. And what we'll do is we'll just come through here and just with these light, loose flicks of the pen, we're just going to give that sort of look of bit of fur, like that. So it's not flat. That's why I love this pen as well. Like if you get the inking pen, I use the same inking pen for colouring. And doing that as I do for the line work, because it just has this really lovely taper on it. And you can literally just go around the whole bear and we'll just taper that and flicky. Alright, so we'll finish that in a second. Also, obviously, we want to do the shadowing, new layer. Let's make that a clipping mask. Clipping mask, again, that just means that you can draw within the bit, like you can go nuts, and it's not going to come out of the lines. So now, as I said, if you watch the previous how to draw a cat video, when it comes to shadowing, again, I'm no expert with this stuff. All I do is I just go, you know what? I think darkness would look good, obviously, between his two big legs. There'd be some shadowing underneath. Well, you can see you can look on the bear here. Look at where his shadowing is and kind of follow that. So he's obviously got shadowing underneath his his head and this big sort of maney thing that he's got going on. So let's shadow it in there. Looking at time, 27 minutes. Oh dear Lord. This video is going to be longer than the last one. But let's persevere. Drawing a bear has taken longer than drawing a cat. And let's just bring the opacity down. I love this part. It just turns a flat drawing instantly, with very little effort. It turns a flat drawing into something that pops. Look at that head just pops now out of the screen. And all we've done is literally just draw a line that's following the rest of the drawing. And it looks like our bear's just popping off the screen. Yeah, look at him popping off the screen, ready to maul us to death. Like the cute bear he is. Okay, so let's put some more shadows in under here again, around this side here. Some more shadowing. And again, I use the shadowing as well to enhance that fur look. So I know I said I wasn't going to speed things up, but I think you get the idea here now. So I might just speed this part up, and then I'll come back to you.
Here he is. He sped it up. He said he wouldn't. What a twat. He's now backtracking. 'Cause the bear's just a bit too hairy. But don't panic. It's just highlighting. It's not an issue. You'll be fine.
So, alright, now I thought I would just quickly, let's stop the speed up here, because I'm now just using, again, this shadow layer to add just these little rough looking lines that will indicate nicely just that he's nice and furry. Okay, so we've now, there we go, there's genuine and that again for our English speaking listeners that's the general gist of the bear. I forgot my signpost. I haven't finished the bear yet. Let's just quickly, I'm getting distracted by other stuff, but let's just boom. Oh my God, it's so good that this isn't bleeding out of. It's just helping me immensely. Thank you, line gods, for that help. Let's put that in there, and there. Boom. Quickly, didn't want that. Let's clipping mask, darker colour. Let's there. Let's get opacity down. Boom. Okay. Let's get our writing. I like to do like a nice red. No. Fishing. White colour. Let's go. Nice square. Hold down. Perfect square. Reference that. Drop that in there. No fishing, Mr. Bear. How dare you? I will eat you alive. Alright, so let's might just give him a little bit of colour on his muzzle. It's different. Again, let's do a new layer for that. Always want to do a new layer for these things, just in case you decide you change your mind, and which I so often do. I'll do something and be like, oh, I hate that. And then if you've done it on the same layer, you've really ruined it for yourself, because you have to, erase so much more than you otherwise would have. And again, like I said, with erasing, like I've gone out of lines there and go back and tidy it up in a second. But let's just colour this in. See, it just gives it a little bit of eraser on the wrong brush. And for those who don't know, you can choose any brush you want when you're erasing. I tend to stick to erasing with the same dry ink brush. That way it still has that nice effect, because I don't always want to get rid of all of that colour, because just having some of that bleed in just makes it look a bit more natural. And so there's this voice on the bear. I might give him a little bit of colour on the lips. Let's get a nice little, let's see what happens here. Let's see what that looks like. Not sold on that idea. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. But what I will do is I'll give it let's get a white in there now. Get some shine going on. Places like the nose. Like that. Okay, now all I want to do is get a slightly more lighter orangey colour. Again, new layer, lots of layers to contend with here. I just want to give him a bit of light on one side. Let's make that brush bigger. There we go. Okay, that all looked absolutely awful. Okay, so that's just saying that's where technically I suppose the light's coming from. Not that I really, again, get too panicked about that with the shadows and stuff, but as you can see, it just adds a nice little bit of brightness on the side. You can mess about with the opacity. That's under that layer, but that's okay. See what's happening there is, I'm sure you know already, but that's just under the layer, the other layer, so I kind of like that effect. Now, something I learnt the other day, it was purely a happy accident. I'm sure everybody already knows this, but what I did the other day was I was on this dark shadowing layer and I had it as a reference because I was filling in stuff on that layer. And I forgot it was still there, and I was like, oh, I might put a different colour in the background. And I suddenly went, yellow, and I dropped it in, and it went, oh! And I went, hold on a second. That's quite fancy. Look at that. But you don't want to drop it in the actual shadows layer, because then when you do the opacity, it's dropping the shadow as well. So let's just get out of that. But what you can do is you go for your new layer, clipping mask layer. Let's drop that in again. As you can see, that's the whole bear. And then we just play around with the opacity there. And that kind of gives the bear a nice, just doesn't even have to be nice and subtle. Just gives it a nice, see the difference? It's very slight. It just gives it a nice little glow. You can change the colour if you want, maybe more of an orangey colour. See what that looks like. It's not bad. Or let's go funky red. So you can just play around with your colours. until you find something that you like. Anyway, you don't even have to do this at all. This is just... I don't mind that. Let's go and have a look at this one. You can just play around and see if you like any of those. I didn't mind the blue. Nice little blue tinge. So yes, there you go. I think, let's just quickly... let's get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. Let's just do a shadow underneath so that he's not sort of floating in midair here. We'll move that in a second. Make that your reference layer. Drop in the bucket. Bring the opacity down. Get your move tool. Move that to a more obvious spot. And we'll need one for our signpost as well. It wouldn't be circular though. It would be this sort of deal. Oh God, I've really backed myself into a corner here now. I don't know if I like that. See, that looks awful. Things like that always happen to me. Maybe we'll just stick with a smaller sort of thing going there. Let's drop the opacity down. I still don't like that, but anyway, we're not here to worry about that. Okay, cool. There we go. So that is how I would turn this bear into a cartoon. Hope you enjoyed. I would say what most YouTubers do and say, oh, please like and subscribe and blah, 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 hit the ding bell. But you don't need to do that. Don't worry about it. So yeah, there you go. Done.